Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be doing a Count to 10 with me book tag. So clearly I still have the book tag kick and I want to do more of them. And this one kind of like stuck out to me. It was really fun. So there's 10 different prompts, but each one involves something to do with each number. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Some of them are harder to find a book for the prompt, but I enjoyed doing it overall. So we'll jump into it. I will put the original information for like the original creator in the description down below, as well as the questions if anybody else wants to try and do this tag as well. So the first prompt is the first book in a series. Sega. I have the 9 volumes of this series. I read the whole thing and I adore this series. And this is the first volume in that series. It's essentially 2 different people of 2 different societies and cultures who come together and make a child. Although they're not supposed to be together, it's like kind of forbidden for them to be with each other. And so they are taking their child and going on the run to try and stay alive, and it's them kind of like being hunted down by other bounty hunters, and it's all set in space. And yeah, there's a lot. This series can get pretty vulgar at times, and that's kind of why I like it so much. It's a lot, but I think you guys should check it out if you get a chance. The next one up is 2 or more copies of the same book, and so for this one I have Red Rising in hardcover and Red Rising in paperback. So I originally had the paperback. This is the one that I bought when I first read the book back in college. My friend recommended it to me, and I remember going there and seeing this book on sale for like $10. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to read this book. So this one has been through some wear and tear. It's seen its days. And then Marcus got me the hardcover to kind of go with my series, because I had Golden Sun in hardcover and Morning Star in hardcover, but this one in paperback. So he got this one for me to kind of match, like have a matching set, which now that I'm like a huge book collector, yes, I appreciate having the matching set. So I have 2 editions. It's also my favorite book, so like it makes sense that I have 2 copies of my favorite book. But yeah, Red Rising. The next one is 3 colors on the cover. So for this one I chose Forestborn because it has gold, blue, and green. I'm not counting like the writing. I know the writing here is like white, but for the most part, 3 colors on the cover. I have not read this book. I was sent this book by the publisher, and I'm very excited to get to it at some point. It will be going on one of my TBRs eventually, but I could not say no to this book because look at this cover. This cover is beautiful. I actually believe that the next book in this series is coming out soon or has already come out. I'm pretty sure I've seen stuff about that in the booktube, like bookstagram world. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. But I'll let you know how this one is when I get to it. Then we have 4 or more perspectives. And so for this one, I chose All of Us Villains, because this is following the perspectives of all the different champions from the houses that are kind of trying to win the magic. Essentially in this one, there are like, I think 7 different houses that each put forward a champion to fight in this tournament. And whoever wins this tournament, then their family gets control of magic until the next tournament comes around. And so in this one, you're following a bunch of the different perspectives, and you don't really know like who to like root for, but it is such a fun ride. And so yeah, this one has multiple perspectives. Then we have a 5-star read, and I chose Dark Age. Now this one is a hefty boy. It's pretty big, but this is the 5th book in the Red Rising series, and this is the 2nd book in the like secondary trilogy. This one was so intense, and it got real dark. Like, its name is very fitting because there were some things in this book that I was like, whoa, that I was not expecting that. And then it happened, and I was like, okay, whoa. Yeah, this one was really intense. It got a lot more into like the political like meanderings in the background, and all the like different space battles and tactical warfare that they had on the different planets. There was a lot more of that in this book, so it was really intense. And there's just like so many like betrayals, secrets that are uncovered, like so many things happen in this book. So it was such a wild ride, and definitely a 5-star read. I will say this book took me a long time to read because like I wanted to make sure that I actually kind of got everything that was happening. So yeah, it took me like 3 weeks to read this book, but it was a good 3 weeks. The next one is 6 or more short stories. So for this one, I chose Grin Reaping, and this is a book that I actually just got in the mail on Friday. So this was sent to me by our local publisher, Latitude 46, and this is a collection of short stories. I checked, there is well over 6 of them in here, so this is something that I will be excited to read. I believe it's kind of like dark humor, so that's something I'm looking forward to. And yeah, I love short story collections, and I haven't been reading them enough lately, so I'm looking forward to just diving into all these little short stories. I can even do it in like bite-sized chunks and just read like one a day or something just to get like my short story fix. But this one applies. Then we have a 7 on the cover or spine. So for that one, I chose 7 Deadly Shadows. And so this one is following a character who has to team up with a bunch of death gods to fight this big like demon king. It was a lot of fun, and I actually learned about the word Oni in this book, and now our other cat's name is Oni, which is kind of fun, because Oni is like, I think it means demon, which is very fitting for our cat. But yeah, so this one has a 7 on the cover. I didn't have many other options for this prompt. There was one other one, which was the Maleficent 7, but this one I actually could talk about it because I've read this one. So yeah, I would recommend this book if you want to read a book with like Japanese folklore, then you can check this one out. It's a lot of fun. Next one is a book with 8 letters in the title, so I chose Warcross. This is a book I'm looking forward to. I have not read this one yet, but I do really want to get to it. It's another book by Mary Lou, and Mary Lou has not let me down yet. Like, I have enjoyed all her books that I have read, so I think that this one will be fun. This one's also more into like virtual reality, so it's kind of like sci-fi, which I haven't read. Well, I read Sky Hunter, which is like kind of like fantasy, kind of like sci-fi, and I have not experienced the sci-fi aspect of Mary Lou's writing yet. So I'm excited to see like where she takes us with this book, and I think it will be a lot of fun. I've also really enjoyed other books that have like virtual reality in them, so I feel like that's a key word for me and something that I'm gonna like. Then we have a book that ends with a page that has a 9 in it, and this is weird, but like I asked Marcus for help on this, and he was like, "Oh, Camp. Camp has the ending with a 9 in it." I don't know how he knew that, but I looked, and lo and behold, there it was. So I found a book that ends on a page with a 9 in it. Perfect. Also, if anybody wants to read this book, I think you should definitely check it out. It's about a guy that goes to an LGBTQ plus camp, and he's been going there for years, but this year he decides that he wants to go as a more masculine version of himself so that he can get the attention of another boy at the camp. I believe his name was Hudson. And yeah, because Hudson likes very masculine guys, so he's kind of like giving himself like a personality makeover this year to try and get Hudson's attention. And he does get Hudson's attention, and so it's just kind of the story of him kind of like trying to figure out if he wants to keep putting on like this facade for this guy just to have them have feelings for him, or if he wants to be his actual self and enjoy being who he is. It's a really like heartwarming, fun read, and there's a character in here, a side character named George, that I absolutely adore. So if you read it, let me know if you like George. But yeah, this one's a fun one. And then the last one was 10 books in the series. And so I went into Marcus's room and found Pendragon, or Pendragon, however you guys say it. This is book 1 of that series, but I checked and there are 10 books in the series. I have not read this series. I believe this is a middle grade series, but this one has 10 books in it, so that's what I'm using. And that's it for the tag. Let me know what you thought of my answers for this tag. It was really fun finding books for it, and I really liked that the questions were incorporated around numbers. So yeah, definitely do this tag if you want to. And like I said earlier, I will put everything in the description down below for you guys. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Coffee page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.